Hey, how's it going, guys? This is xBenJamminx from DailyRotoSharks.com, and I'm going to be doing a video walkthrough tutorial for the NFL cheat sheets. I'm going to try to go through it quickly, but give enough in-depth information that you can understand how to use it better. And if you have any questions, feel free to hit me up on Twitter at xBenJamminx. So what we have right here is the this is week 3 sheets that we have, and this is the results page from week 2. I'm on the DraftKings sheets because that's what I play more of with NFL. So what we have here is how the players did the week before and what we had as the projections and the ranks and stuff. So this is the week 2 results. If you look at it, has a list of all of the players right here, what our projection was, what our projected rank was, and then how many points they scored and what the actual rank was. Then it does the same with QB, running back, wide receiver, tight end, and defense. At the top, you see the top 5 average of the actual points and the top 5 average of the actual ranks, and that's across each of the positions here. So you can sort these and look and see, who scored the most actual points. It was Diggs and then Newton and Forte, and then you could do the same over here. So right now we'll just go with this, keep it here, and then move on to quarterbacks. So you can click on the buttons up here, which will bring you to each tab. But if for whatever reason, if you don't have these up here, like if your Excel is a little older or it doesn't have this slicer capability, you could just switch tabs by clicking down here. So this brings you to the quarterback page. And what we have is the salary of the player, how much they cost, and then we have the difference from the week before. So what this is showing you is Drew Brees, his price went down from week 1 to week 2 by 300. Newton's went down by 100, and Carson Palmer's went up by 300. This is good to know just based on what the player, their salary was the week before. It's not very important, but you'll want to know if someone's price is dropping or increasing by a lot. Then you have the team, the opponent right here. The yellow is showing you people that are playing away. So if you see a yellow pop up, that means Carson Palmer at Buffalo, Stafford at Green Bay, Rivers at Indianapolis. What we've seen so far is that it's better off to pick quarterbacks at home. They just play much better at home. So we like to point that out for people. Then you have the running total for 2016 season, where we've been keeping track of. We have the pass attempts, so you want to know who's throwing the ball a lot. This is the completion percentage right here of those attempts. So Breeze has thrown 86 passes and completed 66 of them. And then someone like Matt Ryan, he's thrown 73 and completed 72% of them. So it's just a different way to look at players. Like Eli, he doesn't throw as much, but he's very efficient when he throws. Breeze just locks and load and throws all the time. Same with Bortles. But Bortles has 89 passes for 61%, so that's even lower. So that's someone who's maybe not accurate or his receivers drop the ball for whatever reason. But then we have yards, passing touchdowns, rushing yards, and rushing touchdowns. Then what we have here is the Vegas lines for the matchup this week. So this is the over-under. You want to pick players who have games in the higher over-unders. So you want to look for the check marks and the green boxes. Those are usually good. So if we sort here, we know Drew Brees and Matt Ryan, they went off this past week. Andrew Luck had a good week. Rivers actually didn't. Rodgers and Stafford both have great weeks. So you want to look for more of the higher totals. Then this is the individual team total. So you take, you have the over-under and the percentage for each team. And Like Breeze, they were projected to win, even though they didn't. But you want to look for a team with a high total as well. So things you could do here, you could like filter out. So you can go to number filters and do um, number filters above average. So it'll show you all the games that are like supposed to be the top half in terms of scoring. You could do the same for team total. So you get rid of the teams that may not have a high projection in terms of points. So that's good stuff to look at. This is the spread of the game. Usually that's important if you're trying to think of like game script and how the game's going to play out and stuff like that. But you usually want to have a player who's going to be projected to win the game at least, but it doesn't always matter. This is the opponent defense versus position ranking. So you want to look for players going against good matchups. Good matchups are higher, so you want to look for green. You could do the same number filter, sort just above average to see who has, which quarterbacks are playing with the best DVPs and stuff, and not look at bad matchups. And then these are our projections. So these are the totals over here, what they have done, and these are what we project them to do for the week. So attempts, completions, yards per attempt, passing touchdowns, interceptions, rushing attempts, rushing yards, rushing touchdowns. Then you get into the projection numbers here. So projected rank. We projected Breeze to be number 1, Newton number 2, Palmer, Bortles, Rodgers. Then you have the projections here. So these two coincide with each other. This is ranking the best projection. Then you have the value rankings. So this is important because we have dollars per fantasy point here, and you want to look for a low when you're looking for value. You want to look for the low number. So green is good, and this is telling you who's projected to score the most fantasy points per their salary. So this is trying to find value players for you. So we had Brissett, Taylor, Breeze, Dalton, Bortles. So that's a good way to look at that. This is percentage of the cap. It shows you based on the total salary cap, this player will take up that much percentage of the cap. So Jacoby Brissett at $5,000 only takes up 10% of your cap. So you have 90% of your salary to work with. And if you take Drew Brees, you have 15% taken up of your cap. So that's just a way to look at it by how much they affect your lineup when you're taking a player. And that has to do more for when you're looking at value stuff. So let's move on to running backs. It's the same format. So it doesn't change much except, you're not going to see passing attempts or anything like that because there's no point of having them for running backs. But we have the total carries for the year. I think D'Angelo Williams had 58. They were just trying to burn him out until Le'Veon Bell got back. Matt Forte, 52 carries. That's a lot through 2 games for him. He has 3 rushing touchdowns in that one game. Then you go over to Vegas lines. It's the same thing. But we have the season total for running back receiving stuff as well. So you have receptions, how many targets they've been thrown, how many yards they get, and how many receiving touchdowns they've scored. Then you have the Vegas lines. Then you have the DVP that we showed you. We have, let's see, the projections here. Let's see. What is it? Hold on one second. Okay. So then we have all the numbers here. We have the projected value. This. The value, all that stuff is still right here. So you move over to wide receiver, and then we don't have any of the rushing stuff because we don't really care. There's a couple of guys who may get a few rushes here and there, but it's not enough for us to warrant putting it up here. This is the total for receptions, targets, yards, and touchdowns, Vegas lines. And then right here, you'll see yards at the catch. And this is 2015 numbers, but starting in this upcoming week 4, I have that updated at 2016 numbers. So it'll be a running total instead of looking at last year. But what it is yards at the catch. This is showing you where they, like, how many yards, like, that they have at the catch of the ball. So if they catch the ball on like a 10-yard hook, that's a 10-yard at the catch. Now, if they take that ball and then run another 10 yards, that's yards after the catch. So we like to separate them because it shows you what type of player they are for the most part. Like someone right here, Mike Evans, 960 yards at the catch and only 241 after. So he's a big play guy, but he usually goes up and gets the ball and catches it downfield as opposed to catching a quick slant and turning up. Like someone like Landry, his numbers are almost even, but he has a little bit more yards after the catch. Alshon is a big play at the catch guy. So this helps you with PPR. So, yards at the catch per average. This helps you, like, if you want to look for guys who catch the ball way down the field, that's not as much PPR. If you're looking at guys who catch the ball, who have a lot of yards, but the yards at the catch isn't a lot, those are like more of your PPR guys. So let's see. We have the projections here. This is projections for the amount of targets, the amount of receptions, the amount of reception projection, percentage, like catch percentage, yards per targets, receptions. So moving on, tight ends, basically the same exact thing, as it's the same structure as the wide receivers. Then you get to defense, and we're updating this page a little bit, so we're gonna have more of the like points, like yards allowed, points allowed, touchdowns allowed, that kind of stuff. But for now, this is what we have: the over/under, the team totals. So for defenses, it's the opposite of the way offenses are. So you want to find the lower totals when you're looking at defenses. You want to find like a low total with a high team total is a good recipe, because that means that the game isn't supposed to be high scoring, but your team is expected to score a decent amount and shut the other team out. So like this right here, you have Seattle versus 49ers, where Seattle is projected to score 25 and the 49ers are projected to score 15. So that's a prime matchup for the defense. We have the opponent offense. You want to look for a high number of opponent here. This is the matchup. So you don't want to sort by one and look for red. We usually try to keep everything green, red, and yellow on our page to keep it simple for you. So this is not usually a good matchup, but this usually is, and that's what you want to look for. You have the opponent passing yards, the opponent rushing yards, the projected rank and projection of the defenses. Oops, you want to go large there. And then value as well. So you could sort here the dollars per fantasy point. I think Oakland actually did well, and I was completely off them. I just couldn't warrant myself taking them, and they actually did pretty well. So we have the lineup builder here. So let me show you guys how to use the lineup builder. The first thing you could do is copy over your quarterback. So you don't have to just do it straight by projection, but if you want, you can. But you could put in whoever you want there. So you can Control-C, copy that, bring it over to the lineup builder, and paste them in here. So you right-click and paste by value. Make sure you paste by value, otherwise it'll get messed up. Like if you look, paste here, it doesn't come up as the right names. So make sure you paste by value. And then, oh, do I have to fix this? Oh, this is updated on the new one, so the salary will show. Then you have the running backs here. You can do the same thing. Let's put in the Let's sort by projection. D'Angelo Williams, David Johnson. Put that in here. The salary, I'll do another video. I gotta update the salary one. It's in the new, I don't know why it's not showing in this one, but we did an update and it's fixed there. So let me just keep moving on without the salary. Wide receivers. Now this wouldn't be a viable lineup just because the salary wouldn't be able to fit, but I'm just doing this for an example right now, just to do you guys a walkthrough, and then I'll do this video over again and make sure everything's proper there. I'm using an old sheet. Let's see. How's it go? Put in the tight end. And then what we have here is you put in either a running back, wide receiver, or a tight end for the flex. And I apologize about the salary thing, not working on this sheet. I must have opened the wrong sheet. But moving forward, we have the stack builder. This is a really cool tool that our team member Joe, DFS Analytics, set up for us. And what it does is you sort by the stack projection right here. And then what you're looking at is you have either the team or the opponent. And right now we have it set it up, sure. So the quarterback and the wide receiver one from a team is here. So we have Breeze and Cooks. And we also have the opponent wide receiver one set up. So this is the QB and wide receiver. And then you also have the number one wide receiver from the other team. And there's a lot of high correlations with that. But let's say we wanted to stack our own team, QB1, QB wide receiver 1, and wide receiver 2. You'll see it changes a little bit. We have Breeze, Cooks, and Snead, Ryan, Julio, Sanu, Roethlisberger, Brown, Rodgers. You could do things like put your running back, put running back here and put your wide receiver 1 here. Stack that. Then you could see this is a good stack to have. You can go value stacks, see who's the best value stacks for you guys based on the fantasy points per dollar. You could do 2 running backs. That worked this weekend if you did it with Freeman and Coleman. That's not something you should do often, but if you actually look here, we have that would have been the number 2 behind Ingram and Cadet. And both of these actually did really well. I didn't do this stack, but I'm showing you guys this as an example of something you can do, and looking back at it, something I should have done. This was just basically stacking the whole game. Let's see if we put in opponent wide receiver 1. Yeah, that would have put in Julio for you, and he had an awful game, so it would have been better to leave that out. So then you could just go up here and do none, and it brings you back. So this is a really cool tool to play around with. It's really, really fun. It works very well. Make sure you're remembering what you have on here. You could do it with your tight end. A good correlation is like put in the wide receiver 1 without the quarterback and put in a defense and take this off. Right? So then this is a running back and defense stack. That's good correlation. David Johnson, Arizona, Williams, Steelers, Lamar Miller, Texans. So those are good things to do. Then we have the target tracker. This isn't the updated sheet, but we have it through week 3. But you have the week 1, the week 2, then you have the total and the average. Then over here you have the red zone targets. You have the completions, targets, the percentage, and touchdowns. Then we actually deleted the 2015 numbers in the new one. Ease of schedule. This is something that it's more for like season long, but it shows you the matchups, the fantasy points versus the QB and the running back and wide receiver, tight end. It has the 2015 numbers for defensive points allowed. And once we get a couple more weeks down, we'll put in the 2016 numbers, the ease of schedule per week. So you can go in and see who has the easiest schedule for the week. So week 3 was Matt Ryan. He had a great week. Week 4, let's see what that would be. That would be Rivers, Bridgewater. Well, Bridgewater's not there. It would be Bradford, and then Trevor Siemian. So all new starting guys. So that's just a quick run through for you guys. I'll do another video soon with all the newer stuff that we have in, but I figured this would be good for you to have now for the upcoming weekend. But I couldn't use the new sheet just because that wouldn't be fair to people who purchased it, and people who are watching this video would be able to just screenshot it and see all the plays. So that's why I used the past one of the past sheets, but I actually picked up one that was incomplete. I didn't download the right one, so. All right, guys. If there's any questions, hit me up at xBenJamminx on Twitter.